Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee and welcome to Mrs. Wages Week. This whole week there's going to be lots of Mrs. Wages videos by a few channels, all because Linda at Tuliloo Creates came up with this great idea to use all our Mrs. Wages packets and show how to use them and explain why we use them and the proper way. So I have cucumbers. Let me show you just a few. I don't know if you can see the counter there, all of the cucumbers, and the buckets are full, and my sink is full. So there's lots of cucumbers. We do like pickles, all kinds. And I use Mrs. Wages for my pickles for a lot of the different recipes. For my dill pickles, I use the Polish dill, and I've also used her kosher dill. I love her bread and butter pickles. My husband loves them, actually. And last year, for the first time, I used her sweet pickle relish, and I have 1/2 pint left. So we're going to make pickles today. We're going to start off with dill, the Polish dill. I'm going to do some whole for the first time, and then some spears today. I also use Mrs. Wages Pickle Crunch, Extra Crunch, Extra Crunch. You put 1/8 of a teaspoon of this in pints or 1/4 teaspoon in quarts, and it helps to give them some extra crunch to keep them crisp. And no one's ever complained about my pickles. My granddaughter thinks they're pretty awesome, actually. So let's get started making Polish dill pickles. And make sure to watch all the videos this week and comment on all of them. There's going to be some fun prize drawings at the end, and go to Linda's channel, Tuliloo Creates. It's an awesome channel, and check out the playlist. But there's some great channels. There's only a few of us that love safe canning and love to teach safe canning. So I'll have the list of all of them down below, and you don't want to miss any of the videos. The packets from Mrs. Wages are really easy to use, and they have all the seasonings in them. Like, this one has garlic, and it has dill, and it has turmeric, and everything you need. So all you have to do is get your cucumbers ready. You can do them as slices, which I always do some dill slices. Spears, I do them, and then whole. First time trying to do some whole, I got some small ones. And then you use distilled vinegar, and you have to make sure it's 5%. Just always check on there that it says 5%. And you use water and this packet. Very simple. You wash your cucumbers. I've already washed mine and scrubbed them, and I have them soaking in cold water. And then you cut off the blossom end. I cut a little bit off of each end just to make sure that I have it right. So and then you stuff them in your jars. First step, let's get our brine made. It's very simple. We just combined 3.5 cups of distilled vinegar. So there's the vinegar, and now we need 7 cups of water. So let me get the water now. 7 cups of water. And now we add the Mrs. Wages packet. You don't have to worry about having dill weed, dill seed, fresh dill, fresh cloves of garlic, anything. Pickling spice, mustard seed. It is all in here. So we add this in. It says to not use aluminum, to use a non-reactive pan. This is a stainless steel pan. Smells wonderful. And we want to bring it just to a boil over medium heat, stirring until everything dissolves. See the nice pretty yellow color? Let me see, can you see that? Yeah. Let me get this going on the stove. I have my water bath canner filled with water, and the rack in the upright position, and I have the water heating up. I've been using my steam canner a lot, but I thought today I would use a water bath canner because I know more people have a water bath canner. You can use pints or quarts. Since I'm doing spears and the whole, I'm going to use quarts. There might be a couple of pints in. If I mix the pints and the quarts, I need to process everything for the quart time, which is 5 minutes more. So pints will be 10 minutes and quarts 15. So my canner will be processed for 15 minutes because I forgot to get my funnel out since I'm going to do quarts. So let me put it over here. I'm going to pick out some of the smaller cucumbers. Now people say a lot of times that their homemade pickles aren't crisp. They will not be crisp like Claussen refrigerated pickles, your shelf-stable ones, but they will be crisp. Some tips: it's best if you process the day you pick them, keep them cold, and make sure you remove that blossom end. Like I said, we remove both ends. And I'm going to start dropping them in there. And we enjoy the spears and the pickle slices. I don't buy hamburger dills in the store. But this will be my first time trying whole ones. So I probably only get a jar or two because you have to have the right size. But we'll see. I could always go pick more. This, I had someone helping me, and I had a wide variety of sizes. Some are bigger. I'll be making pickle relish. So you want to try and pack as nice and tight as you can. Kind of like Tetris. I like using the wide mouth for this process, but these whole ones or spears, it just makes it easier. Pickles need a 1/2 inch head space. Okay, come on. That one might not go. Let me get some smaller ones here. Cut a little bit off. Here's another little one. So I think that's pretty full for having full cucumbers in it. So I'm going to set that one aside, waiting on the brine. Keep stirring your brine. Now I don't have any more real small ones, so I'm going to switch over to doing spears. And the kind of pickle shape you're doing doesn't change the processing. So you can do different, you can do spears, whole, and slices, all in the same canner load. So now I'm going to make these into spears. You could even do halves too. See how halves work. Filling the last jar. When my dad was here, he did the washing, the sorting, and then cutting the ends off. He'd cut them into spears or whatever. And then I did the packing. I packed and did the brine and wiping the edges and the processing. And boy, you can get a lot done when you have 2 pairs of hands. He also helped me do my jams, my peach jam, and he was a helpful guy. I'll have to have him plan a trip during canning season again. I like adding pickles to a salad. We use them on burgers. We use them just as a snack. I can take a relish tray to church with different pickles on it. Pickled beets are always the first to go. Here's the brine. You want it to come to a boil. You want to keep stirring it. It's almost there. It has a nice yellow color from the turmeric and smells great. Lots of nice spices in it. The brine is ready. So we are going to start filling these jars. It's a little wonky with the cucumbers. We want it to come up to 1/2 inch headspace. And we will want to debubble because there's nooks and crannies. I'm going to add the extra crunch, 1/4 teaspoon because we're doing quarts. It says to add it after the brine. So just do your best to go down the edge, try and get around, get in the middle some. It's hard, and I'm looking around and I don't see any air pockets that I can see from there, so we are good. We need a 1/2 inch headspace. So just need a little bit more. Now we need to wipe this rim. Make sure there's no cracks or chips. I had that happen today. 2 jars that they're old jars and they have little chips, so they will be used for storing other items now. It happens. And so now we take a lid, flat, and put your ring finger tight. When it stops, stop. You need to have it not, the reason you don't want it any tighter is that the air needs to evacuate as it's coming up to temperature in the boiling bath. Make sure that you have enough water in your canner, and don't forget the level will come up as you're putting jars in. You can add more, but you want your water to be 1 to 2 inches above the lids. I'm going to put some brine in each of them. I have 4 jars here. I've never, take that one out, it was too full. I've never done 7 quarts at once that I can remember. So if I do have to add some more liquid, I want to make sure some with the seasoning is in each jar, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to need just a little bit more, so I'm going to put a half a cup of vinegar and 1 cup of water in here and just heat it up. While that's heating up, I'm going to put the extra crunch in each jar. And I use this for all my pickles I make. Mrs. Wages, recipes from the Ball Book. I use it in everything. Debubble all of them. Wipe the edges. Lids on, the rings, I'm going to put these in the canner. This canner can hold 7 quarts. So there they all are. I'm going to lower this now and put the lid on and turn the heat up. I'm going to make sure the water is over by 1 to 2 inches. And when it comes to a full rolling boil, I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. My timer went off, so I turned off the heat and I will let it start to calm. It is starting, because it was like a hot tub before. And when the bubbling stops, I'll take the lid off, wait a few minutes, and lift them up. I try not to do anything too fast to have thermal shock. Okay, I have them lifted up. Make sure you use hot pads or something to lift it up. It is heavy and hot. Here are all 7 jars of the Polish dills. And I was reading the description, and it does say they're a peppery pickle. So you can see black pepper, coarse black pepper in there. So I think these will be good. I know I've had them before, and I do the kosher dill more often, but I am excited to have these. I'm especially excited for the whole ones. That's going to be fun to have. So if you want an easy way to put pickles on your pantry shelf, pick up Mrs. Wages. I highly recommend them, and use the little granules to make it crisp too. That does help. I recommend that. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to see more videos like this on canning and vintage recipes and life here at Pike Creek Farm, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here, and make sure to watch all the Mrs. Wages videos this week. I will have the playlist below. Go to Linda's channel, Tully Lou Creates. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.